Hi everybody, Cheryl here. So I'm going to do the 10 non-yarny things about me. I was tagged by my friend Jane of Scraptastic Yarns podcast. And I'm going to tell you that I'm probably going to go squirrely here and go off on other things that they kind of branch from what I'm going to say. So 10 things might become 15 things. Forgive me. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. First non-yarny thing about me. I love my fur children more than anything and anyone in this life. I do put them above everybody, including moi. Now, it's not because I don't love my people. Of course I do. I wouldn't be with my husband if I wasn't married to her. If I wouldn't be married and with my husband if I didn't love him. It's not that. It's that I am responsible for them. They need me. I made a promise the day I took them that I would care for them no matter what. So just like your human child, my fur children are my everything. They will always be number one. Just the way it is. I am extremely protective of my children. Anybody that knows me, watches my videos, my fur kids are my everything. 5 of our 9 cats I bottle fed from birth. And I remember my husband saying, when are you going to start finding a home for them? As they were starting to wean and go potty on their own and stuff. And I said, I'll get there, I'll get there. And he said, you can keep Bear. Y'all see Bear sometimes. He's the one in my videos looking up at me like he's all in love. Because Bear and I were extremely close. And I remember like the week I should have actually went out there and tried to find homes. The neighbor said, did you see the news? I said, what? Apparently some piece of garbage took brand new baby kittens and threw them out the window driving down the interstate, and there lay dead baby kittens up along the interstate. And I said, that's it. If you think for 1 minute I brought them this far, bottle feeding and pottying round the clock and making bottles of formula and burping these kittens for them to die, you got another thought coming. And my husband kind of looked defeated and said, I knew these kittens were going nowhere, and they stayed. They never left the house. That is why we have 9 total cats. 4 of the cats were rescued from my husband's work. One was Albert John, stuck in the Al John Packer, hence the name Albert John. And then, of course, Oliver, you all know about, who we just rescued about 10 weeks ago now. It was the week before my surgery, or the Sunday before my surgery. I had surgery October 25th. That Sunday we came home and there was Oliver. And we kept him because he was like tiny and helpless and defenseless. So that leads me to every single child in our house, except for Grace, our Basset Hound, was a rescue situation. Not one of them but Grace was planned. Gracie, we contacted the breeder. We had pick of the litter. We were the first ones to take from the litter. And actually, Grace and her sister were the only females. I wanted the sister, which was more black, the tricolor Bassie. And Wynn was like all for Grace. But we didn't know which pup. And I said, I can't pick, because he did not like the one I picked. And for like 2 weeks, I was showing her to everybody, because we went to visit her twice. So she was 5 weeks old, 6 weeks old, 7 weeks old. And I was posting pictures, and I said, our Gracie May coming soon. And Wynn didn't like her. And I said, fine. I said, I want you to like the pup too. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to walk up the hill. That's where our vehicle was. The kennels were down a hill. And I said, whatever pup you come up with, that's the pup we get. And he decided, which I didn't know till later, when he bent down, whatever pup came to him would come home. And Grace hobbled over to him and grabbed his shoe and started biting his shoe. And up the hill he come with little Gracie May. And we love the name. Gracie May is actually my aunt. My favorite aunt that passed away, my mom/grandmother's sister. And my Hannah was named after my mom, Hannah Ruth. Ruth Marie is my mom's name. And then we had a dog with my ex-husband. She was Brittany Marie. So the 2 of them had my mom's name. But, yeah. So all but Gracie May, our Bassie, are rescues. Every single one of them. That means the other 4 dogs, and that means the 9 cats. And we would do it all over again in a single heartbeat. So that's the story of my children. That's fact number 1, which was probably 4 or 5 facts encompassed into one. Okay. Fact number 2. I have had a slew of operations. My very first operation was 2002. I had a breast reduction. Best thing I ever did for myself. I despised them things. Anybody who wants big boobs, God bless you. And my mom always laughed. She said, you did that to yourself, you little SOB. You used to sit in the tub and look at your chest and go, Mom, I want big boobs. I want them now. And when they came, she says. I'm like, oh my God. I cursed myself. But they were horrible. When my operation was over, I had an indent in my shoulder. You could lay your finger in and you wouldn't see it. That took months to come back up. That's how heavy my breasts were, and the bra weighing me down. And my bras were like, I'm in my 20s wearing grandma bras, like real thick straps, and the back straps like that. Disgusting. I mean, unreal. And I'm glad I had my breast reduction, because since I lost weight, I lost now 124, 25 pounds. And a lot of the women, their boobies look like tennis balls and socks, they call it. It kind of does. I don't look much different with or without a bra on. So I'm quite fortunate. I'm really grateful for that. But that's a whole different animal there. So that was my first surgery. 2 years later, I had to have a hysterectomy and a bladder tuck at the same time. And with that hysterectomy, this is actually one of my facts I wrote down. I never had a baby, and I was never pregnant my entire life. I should have by rights had a hysterectomy in my early 20s, and my gyno didn't want to do that because I was not in a relationship, I was not married, and I did not have a child. So he said, I want to give you a chance, if it's possible, to become a mother. So I'm going to help you as much as I can. And I hemorrhaged 3 times. I was 11, 19, and 24 that I hemorrhaged, to the point where they had to give me testosterone to stop it, and almost a blood transfusion twice. I mean, I hemorrhaged. It was ugly. And that is actually something that runs in my family. My mom, aka grandmother, I'm lucky I'm here because she almost didn't have my daddy. My daddy was actually a miracle. She lost 2 before my daddy, 1 after my daddy. Or maybe it was 1 before my daddy, 2 after. Something like that. And she had a real hard time with my dad. So I'm very lucky I'm here. My daddy was an only child and a miracle for my grandparents. So I have several cousins that never could have a baby. A lot of us, my second cousins, which would be my father's first cousin, so it runs on my mom/grandmother's side, my father's side. A lot of his first cousins, which would be my second, had hysterectomies very young. And then my generation, my first cousins, daddy's second cousins, which would be his cousin's children, they also, like my cousin Tammy, she's the same as me, never pregnant, no babies. Nope. And her sister Tammy, or her sister, she is Tammy. Her sister Lisa has two boys. Her oldest is my godson Joshua. And then her twin Jimmy, well, he wouldn't have a hysterectomy, but he has, I think, 3 kids, 3 girls. I don't really bother with Jimmy. But anyway, yeah, that's something that runs in the family, and it's no shock that I was one of the unlucky people that didn't. And that's part of why my fur children are my everything, because they are my children. I didn't have human children. God blessed me with fur children, and I embrace them with everything I have inside of me. I'm grateful for them. And I did raise my ex-husband's daughter, who I've referred to several times, my daughter Christy, from 3.5 to 14 when I left her dad, And then I fought for custody and had partial physical custody of her until legally she was 18. So I, indeed, there's Oliver, guys. I indeed raised my child. And I say my child because I raised her. Her mom did not bother. She would pass the house and not even flip her finger at her. Like she was nothing. No Christmas, no birthday, no nothing. Didn't even bother. So yeah, that she's my daughter. No matter what the circumstance today is, I raised that child. But anyway, that's another story all in itself. So back to operations. So then I had, let's see, the hysterectomy, the bladder tuck. Then I had a pilonidal cyst. And if anybody knows what they are, they're these awful cysts you get in your tailbone, your spine. And I had to get an operation to get that taken care of. Then in 2008, the horrible gallbladder thing happened. And I had to have a drain bag hanging for like 7 weeks before they could even operate. And when they went to get the infection out, I was laced with infection. And when they went in to get the gallbladder out, they couldn't laparoscopy. He cut me from under my breast down my side. So I had 16 staples and blah, blah, blah. And that was the start of the doom and me gaining astronomical amounts of weight. And yeah, that's all in another video. Then after that, in 2014, yes, I had my gastric bypass. And just a couple weeks after my bypass, I was in the hospital with emergency lithotripsy, kidney stones flying out of me. And a couple weeks after that, I was back in the hospital with a very complicated emergency double assisted ARCP to get residual gallstones out of my almost completely clogged bile duct. Then I had a paniculectomy, which was they cut my lower stomach off after I lost over 100 pounds. They cut my lower belly off. And then in this past October 25th, I had my gastric revision and a hiatal hernia repair. Oh, I missed one. Last year, I had a hernia repair and the rest of the gallbladder that wasn't completely taken out before, taken out. So yeah, I didn't count all that, but I've had a lot of surgeries. And I'm hoping by next year this time to have the rest of my skin surgery done. The rest of my belly here, maybe my arms, and definitely my thighs. We'll see. That's a goal. So yeah, lots and lots of surgeries. I've been put to sleep and cut upon many, many times. And I'm a trooper. I don't have a problem with surgery. I don't mind surgery. Yeah. I'm the surgery queen. Okay, so let's see. I've covered all that. My name. I was born in Sumter, South Carolina. My daddy was in the Air Force, stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in Sumter, South Carolina. My birth mom and my mom and pap stayed at the Cheryl Lynn Motel. And my father absolutely loved the name. And when I was born, I became, actually it was called the Shara Lynn. And my daddy changed it to Cheryl Lynn. And that is my name, Cheryl Lynn. My family all calls me Cheryl Lynn. Most other people that aren't close, like everybody close to me calls Win-Win. They don't call him Chucky. His family calls him Chuck. But my people, like Jane and my friend Brenda and my friend Darby and a lot of people, they all refer to Win as Win. Just like the family, if you're on my Facebook, you'll see family when they comment, they'll be like Cheryl Lynn, or you'll hear my husband call me Cheryl Lynn. So yeah, that's actually my name. And I was named after a motel in Sumter, South Carolina. And it was across the street from the Shaw Air Force Base Hospital where I was born. Okay. Oh, yeah. I have severe claustrophobia. Terrible claustrophobia. Grace, lay down a minute. Your daddy will be out. I have claustrophobia so bad. I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield, which was actually, I worked for Highmark a couple years ago. Well, it was quite a while ago. It was before I was even married to my ex. Excuse me. I had claustrophobia that bad. We were in cubicles, and they weren't closed in or nothing. They were just sectioned off, and I had headphones on, and as far as those headphones would stretch without popping out of the monitor, I would pace back and forth while I was on my calls. And my supervisors would come and be like, "Are you okay?" Because I was like, sometimes I would even sweat. I was that worked up. They said I looked like a tiger trapped in a cage. Like I was frantic. I said, I'm claustrophobic. I feel trapped. I can't take it. I have been known to be stuck in traffic on the highway and get out and pace back and forth at my vehicle. Now, thank you, Jesus. I have not done that in a very long time. That was severe anxiety and panic. But I do get claustrophobic. I got a bracelet stuck one time, and it was down to here. It wasn't like it was tight or anything like that. I freaked because we couldn't get it off. I couldn't slip it over because when it got to here, I forget what happened. I just couldn't slip it off. It wasn't a cheap bracelet. I literally ripped it off. I was going nuts. So that was more the anxiety, panic in me than anything, those 3 episodes. But yeah, I always joke with my husband, if you want to kill me and get away with it, accidentally lock me in a closet or a bathroom, I'll be dead by the time you get back. Within probably, I give it 3 hours, I'll be dead. I would have hyperventilated to death because I couldn't get out. And he would get away with it because, oh my God, she accidentally locked herself in the closet. Crazy, but true. I'm telling you, I would hyperventilate myself to death. Okay. Back when I left home, which my mom did not want me to do, I was in my early 20s. I worked full-time at a job, and I worked part-time for a lady cleaning for her. She had a cleaning business, and my friend, an older man, married, who was business-minded, he said to me, "Why don't you do it on your own?" I said, "Are you crazy? I don't know the first thing about running a business." He said, "Well, it ain't that hard. How hard do you think it is to run a cleaning business? Come on now." So he and I talked about it, and he basically dared me. And I'm like, "You're daring me? Like, really?" So I sat and I came up with a slogan. I was cow obsessed. And I went down to the local paper, and I had the marketing department I sat with. I told them I wanted a cleaning cow. And I wanted her to be having a feather duster in one hand, a cleaning apron on, and running the vacuum in the other. So he drew me up this awesome cow that was feather dusted and vacuuming, and my name was Utterly Clean Professional Cleaning Service. My slogan was, "We clean better than any udder." Now listen, that was cute and that was catchy. To the point where, at that time, it was Heritage National Bank. Then it was Sovereign. Now it's Santander. Okay? I had a bid. I and like 5 or 6 other cleaning services. You had a bid on these big jobs. Took the tour with he was not the district manager. I forget what he was. But my ex-husband went with me because I didn't feel comfortable. He wasn't my husband at the time. We were just starting to date. I didn't feel comfortable driving around Schuylkill County alone with this dude, so I asked Chris to take the day off and go with me, which he did. We went to every Heritage Bank in Schuylkill County, and we went through, and he told me what the job would entail, how many hours approximately it should take, how many times a week, so on and so forth. I mean, back then, well, it was before I was married to Chris. I was in my early 20s. It was a lot of money then. If I remember correctly, my bid for the year was $120,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but that one bank alone, the main bank, had 4 floors. And each floor had like 18, 20 rooms in it. And like the big lobby was like the size of probably my entire house. I mean, it was flippin' and I would have needed, just for that bank alone, I think we figured 6 employees. So you're talking serious here. The bid that got it, underbid me by $3,000. $3,000 is what I lost that bid by. Hold on one second. Grace needs out. I'll be right back. So I didn't get that bid, but I had others. I had 2 other banks I cleaned for. I had 2 dental offices. I had a real estate agent's office, and I had something else. I actually at that time had an employee. Then I lost my full-time job, and I lost 40 hours a week, plus I used to work almost every Saturday, so that was an extra 8 in overtime, plus I lost my benefits, and I had 2 weeks vacation total with my personal days I never took, and it was almost the new year. And I lost my job. Excuse me. I lost my health insurance, and I lost everything. So then I went out for like an entire week. I combed the streets, and I acquired some more jobs. The realtor I cleaned for, I started cleaning her house. I cleaned her neighbors, and I cleaned another one. And then one of the other gentlemen I cleaned for, he was a single dad, 2 kids. I started cleaning for him. It wound up that after I lost my full-time job now, I had an apartment. I was the only one living there. My rent was $3.25 for a year. I supported myself and 2 employees that I paid regular, never missed paying my employees. And I kept myself going a year on that business I was dared to do. So that was good. Why I quit my cleaning business was because I moved in with my ex-husband. And he had my daughter every other, well, he swung shift. So when he was second shift, I had Christy. And I was taking this child out sometimes till 10 o'clock at night. I had to get my jobs done. And that's not fair to a young child going to school. So I had to make a decision what mattered, my child or my service. And I gave up my cleaning business and took care of my child. That's actually when I went to Blue Shield, and that was a mistake. But that's another story in itself. So yeah, I actually supported myself for a year and 2 employees on basically a dare. And every job I basically had in my adult life, I have been in the managerial position. I've been a retail manager, I've been a retail assistant manager, and I have had my own businesses throughout. I have my Boltz Raggedy's. It still exists, but I'm not active anymore. I no longer design sewing patterns, and I no longer sew for retail shops. I used to wholesale. But it does still exist because I still have my pattern line out there for sale. So yeah, I have been in a managerial / entrepreneurial position since my early 20s. I have not been under either the owner or the manager of said positions. This is a good one. I don't do seafood. I cannot get past the smell of it. Tuna, I have loved my entire life, if it's made right. I'm very, very funny with tuna. I like tuna with dill pickles in it and mayo. Obviously, Miracle Whip, actually. Since then, I branched off to dill pickles, celery, and hard-boiled egg, and a little mayo. But yeah, I'm extremely fussy with tuna. Tuna was the closest to seafood you would ever see me eat, and I loved Long John Silver's fish. It was the only fish I ate, and I could eat it till it popped out of my ears. Well, of course, being gastric bypass, I'll never have Long John Silver's again as long as I live. That's okay, though. I'd rather look and feel the way I feel than clog my arteries with Long John Silver's yuckiness, even though, good Lord, it tasted good. So in my late 30s, well, let's see, 2014, I had gastric bypass, and it was just before then Wynn taught me into trying shrimp. So I'm 47, I would have been 43. I acquired a taste for shrimp, which was good because shrimp and tuna are some of the highest protein, especially for a gastric bypass. They're some of the best lean protein you can eat and some of the highest quantity of protein there is. So I was eating shrimp. And I loved it. I loved it cold. I loved it cooked. I loved it for about 3 to 4 months. And then suddenly I put it in my mouth, and the texture was like that's how I'd be chewing it. Like, it was horrible. Needless to say, I'm back to shrimp grosses me out, along with every other seafood on the planet. So in my entire 47 years of life, I have liked shrimp, the only seafood I would touch, for a maximum of 4 months. Crazy but true. I never ever went to the prom, and I never had a boyfriend until I was, well, I did have a boyfriend at 14, if you could call it that, but I was not ready for that. He was 18, and because he was a Christian and a different breed of person, my mom loved him and kind of tried to push him on me. He actually got killed in a car accident, very sad situation, but I would not call that a boyfriend. The most we did was kissed, and I was like, ooh, like I was freaked out by that. I was 14. I was 18, 19 before I ever really had what I would call a boyfriend. So you do the math on when I lost my virginity. I was a very late bloomer. I wanted to be with my mom and pap every day. My pap was my best friend. My mom and I did a lot of things together. We would frequent AC Moore. We'd make wreaths and ceramics and crafts together. I would sit and draw and paint and cross stitch. I did stuff I loved. I wasn't bothered with no guy. I had zero interest in any kind of dating till I was quite a bit older. And like I said, I never went to the prom. I never went to a dance. I was never even asked. I was chubby in school, but I wasn't like disgusting in school. Like, I wasn't overweight that I break chairs. I was overweight, but I look back and wonder why no one ever asked me. I mean, I see pictures of myself when I was younger, and I'm like, I wasn't ugly or nothing, and I wasn't like grossly fat that people would have made fun of them for dating me. I'll never understand that. I do know that one of the most popular boys in school said to me one day, you know, you have such a pretty face, it's a shame you know, you're overweight like you are. And I'm like, to this day, that was an insult. And then I had lost weight one time, and he ran into me at a gas station. He's like, Cheryl, oh my God. He's like, what are you doing later? I said, absolutely nothing with you. Like, really, do you think you could say something like that to me and I would forget that ever? So yeah, but I never had a boyfriend. I never went to prom or a dance, or I don't know. The only other thing I wrote down is my home is my haven. If I let you into my house, feel 100% honored, because this is my sanctuary. I am very funny with who I let in my house. I'm very funny with who I bring into my domain. I've always been like that. I don't like people in my space. This is my haven. This is where everything is safe, secure, and sound, and I don't like it messed with. I'm not very big on people. I have a hard time trusting, so if I let you in, feel honored, because I'm very, very, you know, I can get along with anybody. Anybody. And I sometimes don't think, when I do let my guard down, I forget that I don't have a trust in people. Hence my recent video where sadly some people don't do the right thing. I trusted someone I should have never trusted, and I got burnt for it. It was my fault because I broke my own rule and I didn't take care of business before anything. So I guess in the end I asked for that. But if I let you in, don't be foolish enough to break that trust, because there'll never be a go back with me. Ever. Chucky, why do you keep walking without a shirt on past my camera?
I don't know. Don't think you can see me.
But you can, Goofy. How did I know? I'm looking at my camera. Well, say hello to everybody. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I don't know if you can hear him or not. That's so funny. So yes, those are 10 random facts about me, and I could probably go on and on and on because there's a lot about me. Now, let me look at, I'm going to first tag Wanda, Rolling Through Life, because I don't believe she has been tagged. Let me see my people. I'm going to tag, well, not all of my friends are Yarny people, and that's good because they're 10 non-Yarny facts. But like my friend Christina, she does candles, and my friend Amy, she does vinyl. So I'm going to tag Amy's life journey. I'm going to tag Christina, Kyle. I tagged Wanda, Rolling Through Life. Let me see. I saw Mary did it, Summer did it, Laurel did it. See, a lot of our people are the same, and they've all been tagged. How about Old Soul Crochet, Valerie Church? I don't know if anybody's tagged her. Let me tag you, Valerie. I don't know if you watch my videos, but I'm going to tag you. Let's see. Well, that's all. Let me tag them and they can tag others, because I really don't know who else to tag. Again, I was tagged by Jane, Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. So I'm going to tag those that I tagged. I'll link them and their channels in the description. I'm going to link Jane and her channel in the description so we can all get out there and get our channels known to other people. And hopefully we all get people in each other's thing and get to know each other better. And yeah, this is a great little tag. I like it a lot. So I'm going to close on that note. I'm in the middle of making the second of my mittens. I'll show them later. Well, here's one of them. I absolutely love these mittens. This is the nicest mitten pattern. Perfect fit mitten I have ever found. Absolutely love it. And I'll share that later in another video. So I am going to be coming back with at least 2 more videos today. My what am I up to and my unboxing and fixing of the yarn in the shop/living room. So yeah, I'll be back later. Thanks so much, Jane, for tagging me. And to all that I'm about to tag and have mentioned, I really hope you guys participate and tag people in your circle. And we can all come full circle and get to know one another and be part of each other's channels and help each other support our Hey, you two. My 2 babies, Albert and Oliver, are at it here. Enough. Albert John. Oliver plays very rough. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for stopping in and getting to know some random facts about me. I'm going to go so I can say goodbye to my husband. He's off to a doctor's appointment and to pick up my yarn at Walmart. And I will be back later. All right. If you haven't already, please do take a moment and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you're notified each and every time I upload. Give me a thumbs up if you like my content. And please do share on your social media so others may find me too. Thanks so much, guys.